Okay, what's we gonna do when we look around here? There is a snowman that is melted. This has mostly melted, but it appears to be a snowman? It has a scarf and a hat. It must have melted since it was dressed so warmly. The poor thing has even lost one of the buttons that was used for its eyes. The temperature reaches its lowest point at dawn. Perhaps it would have refroze later. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Once a snowman melts, even if it freezes up again, it becomes an Iceman instead of a snowman. What? Is that what she was expecting me to say? Edgeworth? Like, I mean, I assume this boy did not grow up as a kid. You feel me? Like, even Gregory was saying, like, I don't know about that kid. You know? So, it makes a lot of sense that he just wouldn't. You feel me? Let's talk to her about the lion lilies. There might be something there. Boop. Does he have it as evidence? I suppose you would like me to tell you what exactly took place 2 nights ago, and my reason for meeting with the president. Indeed, I'm sure you yourself understand the importance of this matter. Yes, however, I cannot tell you yet. Not now, at least. She's determined to keep her heart closed, without the ability to break the locks on her heart. I have no choice but to give it up for now. Mr. Edgeworth, may I just say one thing? This case was thrown into chaos because John tried to cover for me. I would like to take this time to offer my deepest apologies. Do not worry yourself. My logic won't be swayed by a child's lies. Besides, I'm not so tactless as to condemn a child for trying to protect his mother. Besides, you were saying? No, pay it no mind. Mother and child, huh? Does that mean that was Papa? I don't think it was. He doesn't look like Papa to me. A little bit weird if that's the case. Something beds. Doesn't like we talked to this dude. Shifu, I know it's not my place, but I have a request. Please, do a roll call, just like old times. Just like old times, huh? What a lark. Guess I have no choice. Roll call! What? I'm sorry. Roll call with one person is really lacking. That's nonsense. Got nothing to do with numbers. Even though you're the only one here, pack is always one, right? You think it's lacking, then howl loud enough to make up for the rest of the pack. Roll call! One! That man, is he on the verge of tears? Yeah, they're just the camaraderie of it all, you know, it just gets to you. Can we give him something? Cameron's photo. Testimony. Sleepy drugs. Nicole's thing. This is 5 incidents that occurred 12 years ago. This should tell you everything. Old man failed to protect the country's #1 VIP. Because of that, puts everything on the line in his hunt for this culprit after the incident. During that time, my old man, he was like a lifeless ghost. He had just caught his prey. Might have been able to forgive himself. But that shrewd Roland, he managed to get away scot-free. Old man couldn't repay his debt to the president, nor could he unravel the case. So began the nightmare that our wolf pack still hasn't woken up from this to this day. Satisfied? When his clan's honor was damaged, young Ling's heart was wounded just as badly. Agent Ling, I can sympathize with your father's regrets. However, all we could do was perform a thorough investigation of this case. I hope your words will serve as some kind of clue. That's all you have to say? Sheesh. All that talking was a real waste of time. Yeah. So what can I do? Maybe Lion Lily? Keep shoving irrelevant nonsense under my nose. I'll chew it to pieces. I think I should put this away for now. Yeah, he's doesn't like that. Alright, you know what? Let's go see if there's anything else we missed here. Okay. So we already checked this area, so that means that we're done. It doesn't have a... If we investigate it again, because the other spot did, and we don't really need that. There's no checking here. So I guess the biggest clue that we really have here is just to, like, see if we could, like, spot something missing. We could examine that. Examine that area. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get any missing spots quite yet until we get something. Maybe if I show him specifically the brick, they'll be talking about something. Or is there no brick? There's no brick. I think I showed him this. Yeah. I showed him this already. So what if I showed John the lion lilies? Or does he not have one? Or he's queued up? He might not be queued up for this. No, he is. Okay, cool. So let's ask him about the lion lilies, see if we get anything out of this. That's right. I was trying to protect my mom. What's so wrong about that? Your desire to protect your mother is rather admirable. However, the same can't be said for your perjury. Call it what you want. There's no way I could stand by and do nothing while my mom was being suspected. John, you... Mr. Edgeworth was only praising your bravery. He's also saying it would have been better if you were a bit more honest about it. That about sums it up, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Well, more or less. Aren't you glad that he praised you, John? Well, I guess, more or less. They really are a little bit too alike. So, could Kay help me with this? If there was an orphanage here 12 years ago, and what's more, the head of the orphanage was Miss Rowland, talk about a surprise! That means this was the SS5 incident occurred 12 years ago. The one where the president of Zhang was kidnapped, right? Yes, and the only witness, Jack Cameron, was then subsequently murdered. However, when you consider that this case was classified as top secret, it's starting to smell fishy. Like there's something hidden behind this case. Even so, people involved in this incident, aren't they all people that we already know? Patricia Rowland, Jose de Beste, the president of Zhang. The cases that we've been involved in recently in the SS5 incident. Odd to think they're not related. Let's steal the truth behind, hidden behind this case. Keep updating the info if you find out anything new, so let's focus on the areas that have changed in the recreation. Yeah, we haven't gotten any, like, new. So the only thing I could think of, I'll say if would be, like, they're here, but, like, Why is there several footprints? Footprints here seem to lead to and from the body. Yeah, but there's two sets of footprints. That's a little weird, right? And the snow was just kind of the way it was. I'm not seeing the particulars. Ain't nothing there. This pillow appears to be burnt. According to the files, it seems there was a fire on the evening of the incident. A fire? Let's see here. Huh? It says that one of the children in the orphanage spilled kerosene and set it on fire as a prank. Guess that kid had far too much energy. Thanks to that, we can't make out any of the footprints near the main hole. Oh? Interesting. So that is definitely a new bit. Maybe I could talk about the fire? So there's a fire here. Anything else? Maybe he knows about the fire. What kind of pup dumps out kerosene and lights it on fire as a prank? Thanks to that, some valuable evidence for this case has gone up in smoke. Agent Lang, your father relentlessly investigated the SS5 incident. During his investigation, did he find any information on the child who started the fire? So you notice it too, huh? Truth is, I thought about the same thing myself. Your father never revealed his own thoughts to anyone. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. The truth is like a needle hidden in a haystack. His feelings on the matter are more complicated than he lets on. Mr. Lang, have you forgotten something important? The wolf's nose should be able to sniff out the truth from a haystack. You're right. I think the little crow girl would be the one to tell me that. She is my assistant for a good reason. Mr. Edgeworth's assistant for a good reason, you know? So did we get anything? No, we didn't get anything. What if we just have to keep showing him things? That might be the case. So that's irrelevant to him. What about this? That occurred 12 years ago. Just tell you everything. Same thing. Same thing. Pretty long. I don't think that would give me the results that I want. If that's the case, I'm not seeing anything else here that would be like, you're clearly like doing something. Yeah, 3 gardens, we already got that bit. Yeah, there ain't nothing else there. So where do I go for this information? Can I talk to him? Okay, so they're just saying the same thing. I'm not gonna do anything else. So we have 3 different people to talk to. John, his mother, and the wolf. So maybe we could ask him about the fire. Maybe he knows about something. It's not likely, but you know what? This is kind of our living. What's that supposed to be? Okay. Nope. It don't work. It don't work. So I wouldn't say that's the case. I definitely don't think a kid would put out kerosene as like a prank. That's a little bit too weird. What if we... crush it with my gavel. Yeah, I love Courtney. She's great. Let's go. I had a crush named Courtney too, so it makes a lot of sense why I love another Courtney, you feel me? Oh! I was so close. I was so close to something and I had nothing. Examine this. These footprints stop near the body. Yeah, it's the same thing. But right here, there's two different footprints. It's very clearly size 11. Meshy's footprints. Did we get it all? That was it. I can't believe that. We've learned pretty much all that we can about the situation at the time of the murder. And in this case, there's another scene you'd like to recreate? Yes. Would you do the honors? I would like to recreate the scene where the victim witnessed the president's kidnapping. Right, I'll recreate the scene based on Mr. Cameron's photo. Oh! Mr. Cameron is standing in the middle... Mr. Cameron is standing in the middle of the flower beds. And the president and his kidnapper are standing on the road. The old man based his initial investigation on this man's eyewitness testimony. As a result, it led him to believe that the kidnapping and this facility were related. And that's how he came to suspect the head of the orphanage, Patricia Rowland. Yeah. But in court, positive best they treated this testimony as if it meant nothing. Why would he do that? The president and his kidnapper were not standing inside the orphanage grounds. The connection between the orphanage and the kidnapping was difficult to prove. I see. Not like they were seen inside the orphanage after all. No matter how much evidence that detectives gather at the crime scene, doesn't mean squat if the prosecutor won't use it in court. Positive best they had some kind of connection with Patricia Rowland. Figured they had some kind of deal going on. In other words, you think that Balze was one of the kidnappers? Oh, 100% he was. He's the one that did the fire. It had to be. However, your father was convinced that Patricia Rowland was the culprit. Your father was a highly capable investigator, I presume. Might he have had some other bias for his conclusion besides the eyewitness testimony? Yeah, I figured he did. I have no idea what it was. Old man never really talked much about this case. Agent Lang's father, Dang Long Lang. Dang Long. President Hung's most trusted confidant. The truth he discovered was suppressed by Balze de Beste. First, we must find that hidden truth. Moment of the incident. Okay. So, I guess we should just be looking. Oh yeah, we're 100% on this. Won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. This is a problem. About the snowman. When we recreate the scene where Mr. Cameron was killed, it had already melted. The scarf was all soggy and one of its button eyes was missing. Indeed. In this stage, it appears that most of its original form was still intact. Although there's one spot that looks unnaturally lacking. Poor thing! I bet some naughty kids must have plucked it off. Although, from a thief's perspective, that kid does have some promise. Was it plucked off by one of the children in the orphanage? No, perhaps. It was taken by an entirely different person altogether. Yeah, I can already use this. Yes, it is. It makes more sense this way. Eureka! This snowman. When you say it's missing something? Ah! Its right eye is missing! Precisely. And what's more, that missing eye happens to be in our possession. The button that Mr. Cameron was holding on to? Gotta be the exact same design as the snowman's left eye. We had to assume this button was indeed the snowman's eye. And a huge contradiction arises. If this button is a snowman's eye, what contradiction arises? The location of the victim. The victim was holding onto the button. Furthermore, the button was stained with blood. In other words, we grabbed the button after he was attacked. For example, we were able to picture it in this way. After being struck on the back of the head, Mr. Cameron lost his balance. As he was falling, he reached out his hand towards the nearby snowman. However, it could not support his weight, and he collapsed while still grasping the button. Huh? That means Mr. Cameron was near the snowman when he was attacked? Indeed. At the very least, he must have been within arm's reach. However, it's quite clear that we would not have been able to reach it from his current position. But Mr. Cameron's footprints only lead towards the flower bed. Can we be certain that those footprints really are Mr. Cameron's? Seems we need to investigate them one more time. Understood! I'll recreate the time the body was discovered scene one more time. These footprints would match with Mr. Cameron's shoes, right? Let's inspect them again. Change recreation. Ooh, neat. These footprints. Are they really Mr. Cameron's? They're from size 11 shoes, and these huge footprints match up with Mr. Cameron's shoes. No matter how you look at it, they're moving steadily towards the center of the flower bed. But when Mr. Cameron was attacked, he grabbed the button from the snowman. Even with a great thief's peak heaving conditioning, your arm just can't reach that far. Let alone an ordinary civilian, it'd be completely impossible. Footprints come from the shoes worn by the victim. This is the case files say. However, does that mean Mr. Cameron was the owner of these shoes? We should re-examine Mr. Cameron's shoes. Okay. Weird to ask, but okay. We'll rest until every suspicious local crime. But as you literally said to check his shoes. These shoes should match the footprint. However, these shoes seems they were not the ones originally worn by the victim. What do you mean? If you look closely, you'll see the laces were tied up strangely. The size doesn't seem to fit quite right either. Oh? That would mean these huge footprints leading up to the victim's feet were most likely made by someone other than the victim. So then the footprints leading to and from the victim's head must be Mr. Cameron's. No, not necessarily. They seem a little too small to be this victim's footprints. So none of the footprints are his? Then which way did Mr. Cameron walk from? Quite simple. The victim did not walk here on his own accord, but rather, he was carried here after he was murdered by the culprit. The question now becomes, where was he killed and carried from? Perhaps it was near the snowman after all. Mayhaps. Cameron's body was moved, so we consider the button he was holding onto is highly likely that he was killed near the snowman. But take a closer look. There we go! Won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. The snowman has become a sad sight to look at. It can't be helped. Snow and ice both melt away with time. It's like the mystery of the case we've solved, Mr. Edgeworth. Time passes, those mysteries melt away, while you continue to keep your cool. You do realize I'm racking my brain trying to solve those mysteries during a case. Missing brick. Ah, there's a brick missing here. Cameron was the one? Cameron was the one? That was trying to kidnap the president? Question mark. The rest are all in order. It's strange that only this one is missing. And then we have this. There's some 7 Us going back and forth. According to the police files, these are the culprits' footprints. Indeed. They seem to grow faint and disappear as they approach the road. There's not much snow left on the road after all. Expected. It will be difficult to determine who these footprints belong to. Okay. So, let's logic our way into business. Body was moved, missing brick. Did it come from the facility grounds? Missing brick here. Perhaps the missing brick was the one used as the murder weapon. There we go. Ah, yeah, it seems to be the right size to fit in the gap perfectly. Brick near snowman body was moved. As I thought, it seems the murder actually occurred near the snowman. Both the button Mr. Cameron was holding and the murder weapon came from there. Indeed. Also, if we assume that the killer picked up the brick near the snowman, and then tried to sneak up behind Mr. Cameron. Oh, Mr. Cameron totally would have seen the person picking up the brick. Exactly. Okay, please update the recreation. Mr. Cameron was not in the middle of the flower beds, but near the snowman. Okay, I'm on it. Okay, we finally have it. Let's go. The correct thing. So why are they here? That's confusing, right? How did that happen? How did they get a thing here? It's not near the flower beds. Whose blood is this? I'll have to investigate this bloodstain in more detail later. However, for now, our top priority is to ensure that the recreation of the crime scene is complete. Let's confirm the location of the parties involved once again. Okay. No matter how you look at it, this is strange. All the people involved in the case are gathered in the same place. Did we just make a mistake here or something? One piece of evidence this recreation is based on is odd. I have to choose which piece of evidence is fake. It's likely to be a fake. It's going to be this. It's the picture. Take that! Was this photo really taken by Mr. Cameron? Eh? What do you mean? They have proven that whoever killed Mr. Cameron also moved the body. For what reason would they have to deliberately move his body? Perhaps the culprit wanted to falsify the scene that Mr. Cameron witnessed. That's why they took a fake photo? They made the president stand under the streetlight and took a photo with Cameron's Oh, Cameron's camera. Cameron, I get it now. Shut up. It would have been quite simple. Now that you mention it, Mr. Cameron's camera only had one photo on it, right? Indeed. No likelihood the original roll of film had been removed from the camera. And after loading a new roll of film into the camera, a fake photo was taken. I see! This photo must have been taken after Mr. Cameron was killed, right? Was gold. Exactly. This is not the incident Mr. Cameron actually witnessed. Luckily, this photo is forged evidence. Then where did Mr. Cameron witness the president and his kidnapper? Photo isn't the only piece of evidence that indicates what Mr. Cameron witnessed. Ah, the testimony we left on the answering machine. Precisely. Should listen to the recording one more time and confirm what was said.